All right, we're back. Welcome to the Coach's Office podcast. I don't have as much of a plan today, but we have a little plan, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
Hopefully, the battery makes it and we stay live.
yeah, going great. Thanks for pivoting yesterday, dude.
Yeah.
It was so weird. So here's what I think I don't know what it is, but on Monday night I did this thing for uh, so I work for Young Life, local ministry. We do a nugget power hour, right? Uh, on Monday night. It's a fundraiser if kids want to use it as a fundraiser, but we get uh, Chick-fil-A to essentially donate
Okay.
3,000 chicken nuggets.
Okay.
We buy them at cost, but they donate some of them, whatever it is. Uh, we got 115 kids into a room. Every minute you have to eat a chicken nugget until you can't, and we go until there's a winner, right? How many nuggets do you think the winner ate this year?
75.
84. Good guess. Last year was 92. So this year I'm deciding, you know what? I'm gonna like go for it. I'm gonna see.
You are?
Yeah, I'm gonna see how many.
Because you do this with them.
I do it with them. Yeah, might as
Oh.
well. Like
You do
and this actually comes
every
into
month?
No. We do it once a year.
Once a year. Oh, okay, okay.
It's a once a year
I was a
event.
little worried.
No, once a year event. And this time, and I actually want to put this down on the notes. I want to talk about leading and/or leadership, like this principle that is it's consistently manifesting itself all around me right now. So I want to see what you think about it.
Yeah.
But so we do this thing, and I get 45.
You did
on Monday. Yeah, 845 nuggets. It was great.
Well,
At the end, I started. Yeah, I started feeling a little whatever it was. Tuesday comes around. Tuesday's fine. Wednesday morning, I like start feeling weird. Right. I go to a meeting. I'm basically not myself. I leave the meeting, have the person driving pull over because I got to throw up. So I just throw up on the outside of this car. Immediately feel better. I enjoy throwing up. Like I enjoy when I'm sick and my body wants to purge something. I don't have an association with being bad. So like once the act happens, I'm like, oh man, I feel so much better, right? But then like an hour later, I'm like, no, something's wrong, like really wrong, and I essentially just fall asleep, like on the next 24 hours, and then I'm fine, and then wake up fine the next day. So wake up fine on Thursday, right? Either, but there's this weird like 24-hour stomach bug flu thing going around, whatever it is. So I'm like, either I ate myself into this sickness based on these chicken nuggets, and you should never eat 45 Chick-fil-A chicken nuggets and anything that's in them, and I just induced this ridiculous flu, whatever it is, or being in the room with 105 students in this tiny little room, and one of them had it, and you just got whatever it is. But I felt fine yesterday, but I didn't. I just wanted to give another 24 hours to. Hopefully you don't get it.
Yeah, that sounds gross. So,
sorry about that, but
it's fine,
dude. It was wild. It was wild, and I know somebody else that's like, dude, I'm on my deathbed. Like, bring me.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Whatever.
Don't bring that in here.
But here's the point.
Yeah.
Do CrossFit. So the person I know that has the same thing right now that I was with on Monday that probably gave it me. Probably not the chicken nuggets. Is like down and out. Bring me electrolytes. I can't recover. Has been on the couch for days now, and it was 12 hours, and it wasn't even bad for me. It was just go to sleep.
Yeah.
They went to the hospital.
Really?
Yes.
What's that? The wellness
the bell curve?
No, the wellness sick to well or sick to fit continuum that CrossFit draws.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that one?
Yeah.
That's what it made me think of. Like you were more on the fit side, so it's harder for you to get back and get into the sick side.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It takes more to knock you down to that place. Whereas if you started out unhealthy or not doing CrossFit,
right?
Which again just preaches to the testament of this is the best.
This is the best.
To stay healthy.
Yes.
For the majority of the population.
Yes. It's one bucket that you should care about that this thing fills in your life, which is
it's like something that's important to care about. Like we talked about last time, it's kind of an anchor point for people. Like it should be an anchor. It can be an anchor. that your day can revolve around, or your week can revolve around, or
like if this thing isn't adding to your, like if you don't think that it's adding to your health and or your ability to fight off a viral load or sickness.
No, I mean, it
hopefully
definitely is. It definitely is. There's no way
you have, like, somebody needs to remind you of that. I don't know if it's the coach's job to remind you that, or if it's your own job to go and find this information, but it's there.
Yeah, the buffer against sickness.
Well, yeah,
sickness. So,
which I feel like is like everybody's, like the majority of people's goals, right?
It should be, right? Because
to not get sick.
Well, yeah, not get sick, but also it's a buffer against aging as well. Because as you get older, your goals obviously shift, and you can have and you should have performance-based goals, right? Like you should want to perform, because that's CrossFit's foundational methodology is around performance. It's not just around aesthetics, that's bodybuilding, and it's not just around a feeling, that's burn boot camp, or Orange Theory. It's around performance for a very specific reason, and the fact that it's tangible and you can measure it, is objective for the most part. So as you get older, your goals might shift towards just being healthier, feeling better, right? A little bit more of a subjective feel, but also being able to do things that people in your age category or an age category above you can't do. You know what I mean?
Because of their lack,
because of the lack of ability to their lack of a work capacity, right? It's like work capacity is the way that CrossFit measures health, which is your work capacity across your lifespan. That's how they define health. So the volume under the curve of that, your level of work capacity as it varies throughout your life, the volume under that curve, the area under the curve, sorry, it's really volume because it's 3 dimensions, but the area under the curve is your health, right? The measurement for your health. So the idea would be carry with you the highest work capacity for the longest extent of your life, and you will be the healthiest.
Yes,
that's the principle. Yeah, so that's what you're doing. You're curbing against, or you're hedging against getting older.
So on Tuesday, I'm at the coffee shop with the girls, right? I stop by on my way. I go to the coffee shop, and then I either go to the park or I take them to the trampoline park. This is one of the places to get their energy out when I watch them on Tuesdays. I just bought a pack of True Classic t-shirts because I got propagandized by Instagram, but I needed some new t-shirts. I couldn't just keep wearing Krypton t-shirts around.
Is that the one where the dude smacks him in the face?
Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. It's so good. And they just fit right. Like they're just a really great t-shirt. They fit well.
Sponsorship opportunity.
I fully endorse them. Like, fully endorse them. They fit great, especially if you're doing this, right? Like you, and so I get to the coffee shop, and one of the guys that works at the brewery, because the coffee shop's in a brewery, one of the guys comes over, and he's like, "We need to arm wrestle right now." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, you know why I'm asking. I'm like, what? He's like, "Can't walk in here, looking jack or whatever it is, and this and that." And I was like, he was like, "So we need to arm wrestle because, I know I can beat you in arm wrestling." And I was like, "I know you can too." Like, I have no reason to, this thing that you're perceiving right now, that you're seeing, has nothing to do with wanting to beat you with arm wrestling at all. And I don't see any valid reason to try and create this arm into something that just applies more force like this than someone else. I don't need it. I haven't worked at it. I might be able to be, maybe.
Is this guy an arm wrestler or something?
Who knows? Like, who knows? He just was like, "I'm a great arm wrestler."
I'd have been all in.
I haven't been in the gym.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
I go.
At this point, I have time to do it. I just do not care.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wanted to be like, "Hey, stick around for 5 minutes. Let me tell you why I go to the gym. Because it's not to beat you in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
And you're 55 pounds overweight. And you have no idea how to eat. You have no idea what like a baseline nutrition program is. And at all. Right? And then that snowball just keeps going, right? And it's like, but instead of going down that route, I was like, "Scott, just come to Krypton with me." Like, if something about this made you think a certain way, that you need to prove this or prove that or do this or beat me in arm wrestling, I want none of that. I do want you to come half a mile down the road with me to the gym once a day. It'll change your life immediately. And then you actually won't care about arm wrestling anymore either.
Yeah, it gives you something else to care about.
It was
a cool thing.
Just, but I think that's what people
probably
perceive.
Would improve arm wrestling too, though.
It would probably. Maybe I'd beat him. Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
But the public perception, right? It's like the whole idea. If people are wondering why we keep wanting to sit down and record ourselves talking.
Yeah, I'm halfway
weekly,
wondering why we.
It's like, why do we?
I mean, I have some ideas and we can talk about them, but yeah.
One of the things that I think it is because, well, I used the word re-enchanting earlier, but it's realigning the spirit of CrossFit's attention on its actual goal.
Yeah, towards the methodology and the things that it should be focused on. Because it's so easy to drift away.
Correct.
It's happened.
Yep.
And now there's a debate on whether or not it's going back in the right direction. There's literally people arguing online whether it's going, and I'm like, okay, it's just funny to me. It's humorous. Re-enchantment's a good word, but yeah, calling back on the past, pointing out the things that worked that seem to attract attention, and then asking yourself why those things attracted attention it's all really good. Like you have to do this. You do this in your life.
Over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, you do this at the deepest level of spirituality as well. You know, just the same thing. Yes. You have to ask the question why, and you just dig and you dig and you dig and you find more and more and more. If you look, but that's funny because there was a new guy that came into the gym the other day. Clearly, I don't think he's done CrossFit. But he came in and we talked for 15 minutes or so. I showed him around the gym. He said he just moved here and came from a place where his work had a gym, like a really nice gym and a personal trainer. So he had a personal trainer in a gym. But he was talking to me about like my immediate giveaway when he's like talking about his upper body, lower body split days. You know, like this. And I know that he's never done CrossFit when he's 100%. As soon as someone talks to you about I do biceps and back this day and then legs and core this day, I know you don't do CrossFit because you don't understand. Even if you do CrossFit and you think that way, I don't know if that's the right way you should be thinking about it.
Yep.
But I could tell that he didn't do CrossFit just from that. But I told him to come try a class. I talked to him about it, showed him the class, that the fit class was going on because it was like 1:00 in the afternoon. And, I was like trying to explain to him the difference between our fit class and our regular class, which workout wise, there's not too much of a difference. The fit class is just more bodyweight style, more of a condition. There's no barbells. Right. And there's not as much skill work, not as much stuff on the pull bar, things like that.
Right. Very rarely are you hanging on the pull bar.
It's almost like an introduction. Like you can just hop into the fit classes, get introduced to the basics: squats, kettlebell swings, some dumbbell movements, rowing, running, biking, things like that.
Very much an introductory level course, like CrossFit advertised in the beginning, which was you can do all this from your living room.
It works for us because it's one of the ways that we can just say, hey, come try this thing. Like we can tell people to just come try CrossFit class, but there's a lot more that goes into it. It's way more intimidating. It's kind of like a step into it without, like, you can dip your toe in the water without having to like just get shoved in the deep end. Some people that's fine for them and they're ready for it, and other people they're not. So it's kind of like an introduction to it. But anyways, I'm talking with him about this, and I tell him, I'm like, look, you have to come into the gym with an open mind and just be open to the experience that you're going to have at the gym. Don't come in and try to judge. Don't come in and try to don't come in with an ego. Don't come in with I have to do this, that, or the other. Like, just come in and be open to the experience. And it's almost like you're walking into like some adventure and you're going someplace new. You're not going to try to muscle through everything. You're just going to go with things. Like, you're just going to go with it. And what happens, right? You might have your hotel and you might have your car that you rented, and then you would just drive around and find something fun to do. Maybe you talk to a local person, and get advice or something like that. But you just kind of go with it to start, right? And then once you start learning and understanding, then you kind of figure out what it is. But I try to tell them, I'm like, hey, this is just an adventure. Look at it like an adventure. Look at it like you're coming in, and you just want to be open to what's going on. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, because he was talking about how he wants to be pushed, and he wants to, he's one of those people that really needs motivation. Like, he'll be middle of the way through a workout or a set and just be done and stop. And I'm like, yeah, you're gonna find, like, you can't explain it. I'm like, look, you're gonna find all that here. Everything that you're describing to me, you're looking for, you're gonna find it here. But I can't tell you that like before you come in here. It's weird. It's hard. dynamic.
Stop
to share
it.
with someone.
It's-
I say, come try it.
When
The best
you
way to do it.
do a fit class in the way that he's describing it, and you need your push in the middle of your workout, it's already built in for you because there's a clock running.
Yeah.
And a prescribed thing that you are doing.
The task and the goal is right there on the board.
It's right in front of you.
Should be called the goal of the day.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I like challenge of the day.
Yeah.
Workout of the day.
Test of the
day.
Yeah.
But it was hard to explain to him. I couldn't. I struggled to. I didn't want to over explain it.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be like, hey, come try it.
Dude.
Everything you're saying, you're gonna fit right in. Everything you're saying is spot on. You will find it here. Just come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
He was supposed to come in this morning at 9. I don't know if he came in or not. I didn't get in here till after 10, so I didn't see, but I'll have to ask you, Coach, at 9.
There was something in that made me think of like you have no idea what you're about to get into. Like this guy has no idea that he's about to fall in love with Olympic weightlifting. Here's something that's recently just...
Which one? Which guy?
This guy that you're talking about. He walked in. He has no idea what Olympic weightlifting is. There's no chance. In my mind, there's no chance. And if he does know, he's never done it. And if he has done it, it was probably in high school and for football, and he had nobody explaining to him how to actually do it.
Yeah.
I think here's one re-enchanting thing. CrossFit re-enchanted the globe towards Olympic weightlifting.
Yeah.
It was dead.
Yeah.
Fully dead.
Yeah. It had been killed by bodybuilding and running, to be honest, and powerlifting. Powerlifting wasn't that popular. People did it, but not too many. But it was really bodybuilding and like Arnold and those guys that really grabbed everyone's attention. Like it was what took all of the attention, and then running took all the attention in like the 80s and 90s, right? Yeah. And then now CrossFit had that attention. CrossFit had that. Like it was holding the spotlight on itself. And it kind of like the spotlight got turned away from it. So now it's like that thing still exists. It's still there. It will draw the attention back at some point. Like you said earlier, it will draw the attention back. But people just need to. There's an education part of it that's hard because it's not as easily understandable as something like a bodybuilding. Like bodybuilding, you look and you see that person's a bodybuilder. I mean, you can do that with CrossFit. I can look and see that person does CrossFit.
I'll spot a CrossFitter from a mile away.
Yeah, you can just tell. And it's not the shoes, it's not the clothes.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps. It adds into it.
Here's a weird one. Especially women who do CrossFit. I know immediately seeing you. Like we'll go to Great Wolf Lodge twice a year, and I'll walk around, and I actually play this game with myself sometimes. Hey, what gym do you go to? Like, I'm not like, hey, do you do this? It's, hey, what gym do you go to? And just let them tell me.
Yeah.
Immediately. Yeah. It's one of the easiest things to spot. Creates a very specific thing. I've been watching the 100 recently, the Physical 100 season 2.
Yeah. I read a comment about this just the other day.
Last night, Julian goes, are they just making a Korean CrossFit?
Yeah.
And I was like, yes, 100%.
Is this the third season?
This is the second season. And
all right, so
I think it's the second season. I could be wrong.
Spoiler alert? No, you haven't seen it. You want me to tell you?
Tell me.
No, I mean the CrossFitter wins, right?
Oh yeah, he wins. The CrossFitter wins. It's 100%. Nobody will beat us in this thing. Yeah. You can never convince me. And maybe I speak in extremes, so
I do too. But yeah, did you? Okay, so what do you think of the thing that I shared the other day on my Patreon page? That
I thought you shared it because you were watching the show.
No, I shared this, and then I read a quote about that, and I'm like, that the 100, that the CrossFitters won that 100 thing, because Noelle started watching the first one, and she like watched half of the thing, and I like did one of those, I'm in the kitchen doing something, and I look over and I see it, and then I don't care, and then I come back, look over it again, and see it, and then I sit down and be like, hey, what's this? And then we end up watching the rest of the show. The joke.
And the reason I say I thought you wrote it because you were watching it was the show says we are crowning the winner of this show to have the best physique.
Yeah.
But
the term physique isn't defined by something specific. Correct. That they don't have, it's performance based.
They use the word physique to describe a performance competition.
Mm-hmm. All right, here you go.
That was it.
So let me read this. What if, crazy idea, the CrossFit community rallied behind the idea that the athletes at the CrossFit Games are the fittest athletes in the world and put it on display to the world again. Let the people know. This methodology produces the world's fittest, and these CrossFit Games are the proving grounds for the methodology. With the games being the quote unquote proving grounds, the affiliates then become the workshops, the testing facilities for the methodology. Not with the sole goal of producing CrossFit Games champions, but with the goal of forging elite fitness. Elite fitness in the ordinary, everyday mom or dad, firefighter, officer, military serviceman or woman. With this central idea and focus, not unite us all back to the methodology again, back together as a community, all reaching upwards towards our personal goals / betterment, rather than finger pointing online. I just thought that could be something like that could be a rallying point for the community, getting behind this methodology produces the fittest people in the world and the fittest athletes in the world. Like, what if we rallied behind that and we got back to the forging the elite fitness again? Because that's what we're doing every day in the gym. These people in the gym are fitter than 99.9% of the rest of the world that's outside these walls.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's crazy, but that should be the thing that we should rally behind as a community. Because if we're arguing over what the workout should be at the CrossFit Games, it's like, I don't know, are we missing the point? Are we missing the whole thing?
There is certainly a place for trying to talk about
absolutely
workouts at the games, and the reason it's interesting. One of the things that I've noticed about the reason why that sort of content presents itself is because the thing that we do isn't like the Masters are going on right now. Golf has a very specific set of rules. It doesn't change. The only thing that changes about it is the course you play.
Yeah.
And the thing you can comment is the course, but nobody's complaining about Augusta. Like, nobody gets online and talks, over and over and over and over again about the conditions at Augusta today. Everybody that knows, that is paying attention to the Masters right now, knows that it rained a lot. The conditions are not great.
Yeah.
There's going to be a winner of the Masters this year.
Right.
Nobody.
And they'll argue whether or not they factored in the weather, because it's like, hey, this person might play better in this type of weather than this person, and that's just something that's kind of outside of the realm of control of the athlete.
But it's so minuscule. It's so minimal to the commentator or the golfers. Like, nobody is thinking, oh man, Scotty Scheffler's gonna play really bad now or whatever it is, right? It's this. So if you continue to harp on the conditions or whatever, this externalities, you're gonna find yourself just in a constant place of complaint.
Yeah.
Instead of everyone at Augusta right now is there for what reason? The reason is to crown the Masters champion. And they all know they're there to participate in watching the Masters champion get crowned. To your point, you are right. That paragraph that you wrote and sent is the revolutionary thing.
Yeah, just a call back. It's just a call back, because it's what we started in the first place: forging elite fitness.
100%.
That should just be their thing. That should be their thing all the time. It should never change.
Right. So why do you? And it's
like you said, you can recognize a CrossFitter anywhere. Why? The methodology works. It's what the methodology does.
Right.
And let me say that the person just doesn't look like they are fit. Like, have them do a workout. Have them do something functional. Anything. Carry their kids up 10 flights of stairs. They're going to be better than the other person next to them. It's cool. It's cool.
So here's an example. My neighbor owns a gym locally. My next door neighbor owns a CrossFit gym locally. He and his wife both work there, and I'm painting our house the other day. Howdy, neighbor, what's going on? We're leaving to go get a new stove. Have a good time. They get back. Stove's in the back of their truck. And I think this. I'm not embellishing at all. I should stop painting and offer him a hand in carrying his stove inside. And I immediately thought, I know she is just as capable of carrying that inside as I am, capacity wise. I'll still extend the offer as a courtesy, but not as like a, you need this help, right? And within a second of saying, hey, do you need a hand? It was met with, no, we got it. And the two of them, husband and wife, were fully capable of carrying this stove inside. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there it is. Like, there's the proof in the pudding right there of like.
That's my joke all the time. Is anybody whenever we're doing something, it's like, oh no, it's okay, I got it. I do CrossFit.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. That's a great line. I picked it up from a couple ladies in the gym.
Who like that?
Nancy, remember Nancy?
Yeah.
She would have
so good.
She was in her 60s and she was in here doing CrossFit. She could deadlift 200 pounds. And, people would come over and ask her if she needs help, like loading groceries or loading the rocks that she bought into her car. She's like, no, it's okay. I do CrossFit, in a nice, sweet way,
So great.
It's cool. It's cool.
That's so great.
I love it.
I'm full of those tangents today because they've been popping up all over for me right now with like little random things. Like one of the other ones is I listen to, or like whenever Laura will put out a new YouTube video, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I've been watching them.
And in the question and answer sort of thing, one of the the question's not as important, but I wrote down or I think the question was something like why do you do CrossFit or something like that, and her answer was spot on, like just like right away, and she's quick with it. She knows, like she really knows. She said, to enjoy what I do and see where it takes me.
And that's kind of the experience. So that answer is also the answer that I would give to the person walking in the door for the first time.
Yes.
That's the best. You can come in with all your little micro goals that you have. Keep them in your head.
Sure.
Like I saw Glassman talk about this. He's like, write down all of the goals that you think you want to do when you start CrossFit or a workout program at all. Write them all down. Don't tell me about them. Just write them all down. I'll train you for 6 months and watch how many of those you cross off without me even trying. I'll just train you in CrossFit.
Damn.
He's so good. He's so good, right? Good. Yeah. It's good. But it's true. And the best frame of mind, the lens that you should put on when you walk into the gym is that. It's exactly that. Just come in and see what you can do. Just like physically, see what you can do. Like you come in and you put in the effort. See what you can do every day. Just test yourself. And then there's all kinds of other things you can think about that we talk about that are minutia, and
I like that word.
Add in things to think about, and you can work on your Olympic lifting, and you can work on your technique, and you can work on your kip, and you can work on your strict movements, whatever it might be. Like there's all those little things, the game within the game. But the broader picture, the bigger view, which is I'm more of a broader thinker anyway, is that's your mindset on the day-to-day. Just see what you can do that day, because it changes day to day. Some days you're going to feel good.
Yeah.
Some days you're going to feel like crap.
Yeah.
And you just need to keep moving through it. The best way to do is just keep moving.
I like doing this so much. Yesterday, I was going to come in and try and work out, like a day after kicking and beating whatever it was that is rocking people, that we're able to get rid of, fight off. I was like, the morning I woke up, I was like, oh man, I don't feel 100%. Like I wonder if I'm gonna be able to go to the gym today. And my first thought was, that just means you got to go and do your best and see where your body's at currently. Yeah. And then I get to 12 o'clock and I was like, dude, I feel good. I'm ready to go, and then I see the workout and I was like, I'm definitely ready to go. I like this. And then my wife was like, don't go to the gym. Just give it another day. Like, you're okay. Just wait a day. I was like, all right, fine.
All right. Wives are smart.
So it was a great little, able to temper me down a little bit. But so now I'm here today. Dude, I felt so good today. I don't know what it is. Like,
you slept yesterday.
Dude, it must have been the sleep.
You don't get a lot of sleep as a parent.
Dude, must be the sleep thing. I legitimately feel like I could go run 100 miles today for some reason.
It's probably
Like,
sleep. Yeah.
Fully energized, fully revitalized. Like,
awesome. You doing the workout today? Class?
So yeah. I'm
Want to do
excited
the
to see
workout
how
of
it
the week?
goes. What was that?
We're going to talk about the workout of the week.
Oh yeah,
You want to segue into that? Might as well, since we're talking about workouts for the gym.
Yeah. Did you do it?
So no. So I did Monday's workout. I did Kelly on Monday.
Oh.
And then
that's fine with me too.
No. That's I don't.
Okay.
I did that workout on Monday because I was afraid of it, and because of the jumps. Like I was just afraid of it from the box jumps. So I did it, and I rebounded all the box jumps. I got through it. I'm still recovering from it.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Like I worked out all week, but I had to modify the rest of my week because of that workout on Monday, and I knew that was going to happen going into it. But I wanted to do the thing that I didn't want to do. Like I wanted to do the thing I was afraid of.
Even still, to this day, with the beating that your body's taking, the surgeries, and
it was what was necessary. It was the test that I needed to do for the day. Okay, so I did it anyways. So Kelly, done Monday, and then the next day was the workout of the week that we're going to talk about, which is JT. So I knew everybody was going to be pretty smoked from Monday. Like your legs are pretty beat. Like mine are still sore, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, I get it. So the next day we did JT, which is 21, 15, 9, handstand push-ups, ring dips, push-ups. All interference, post interference. Couldn't have any more interference. Right. If you had any more, it would just be stupid.
I don't know.
If it was less than, I mean, you can make it 15, 12, 9, and it's still hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, please tell me what you thought of JT because you did it. I did handstand push-ups the night before, so I didn't do JT the next day. That was my fault. I didn't think about it.
So I got to go with a group of guys that were all ready to destroy each other, right? Like ready to compete, ready to go fast, ready to push it. That's what I really like about this is that there's a little extra game for these old girl workouts, or I mean, JT's not a girl.
Yeah, we're doing benchmark workouts this month. Workouts. Yeah. This is a hero
workout. And so insert a hero workout, and you're like, it just takes it to the next level, whatever. I'm thinking at this point, I'm going fast. I'm not afraid of this.
Is this during the workout?
No, this is before the workout.
Okay, this is running through your head.
I'm not
visualization.
Yes, I'm not afraid of this, and I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, which is the right mindset going into a test or a benchmark or something like that. You have to have that mindset.
And the handstand push-ups are fine.
No, that's true. You can't be tentative.
The dips
can't be tentative going into
were fine. Mm-hmm. I got 2 push-ups in on the round of 21, and immediately, I mean, I audibly say, "Oh no!" And there's people watching. Like there's some people from the leftover class, whatever, and just laughter erupts. Right? I just fall on my face, and then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna play this game, and now I know I'm not just going. Now I have to play the muscle endurance, survival game. And so I decide that I'm going to try and go 3 minutes on the first round, 2 minutes on the second round, 1 minute on the third round of that part, and just take my time on these push-ups because I finished the first 2 parts in a minute. Handstand push-ups and my dips, and like let's say a minute 10 or something.
Yeah, and that's about the time that energy system wise, that's what you get.
So
you get about a minute.
So
before you hit that wall,
and I get to the handstand push-ups, and I spend 2 minutes doing 21 push-ups.
Ouch.
And I get back to the wall, and I do my handstand push-ups, come back to the dips, do my dips, come back to push-ups, and they kick me in the face again, steal my lunch money, all the above. I finished workout like 8:30, something like that. Sam and Jesse were a part of that class. I think Braden was a part of that class. I think they
5
went.
p.m. That's a fun group.
Yeah, they went 5. I think Sam went 40.
Yeah.
I think Jesse went like 5:04 or something. Yeah. I don't know what Braden got, but I think he beat me. And he's tall too. A couple, or maybe he didn't. I don't know. But it was immediately humbling. The interference is immediately humbling because all of those things, 45 handstand push-ups, 45 ring dips, and 45 push-ups is not a problem ever until you put them together. Yeah. In that rep scheme. Right. And ask yourself to go fast. Yeah.
It's cool. It's a different stimulus. You're not going to get it. You're not going to get it really outside of CrossFit much of anywhere unless you do like a bodybuilding drop set or something like that. That might
Yeah,
be the closest.
which
thing
is
we
a
get
little
to.
bit of my background too. Like I liked
Yeah, or
doing
like a Mike Metzger, right? Mike
yeah,
Metzger,
yeah,
high intensity, 2 rounds of
yeah,
whatever the bodybuilding sets
yeah.
might be, where you change movements from easier movements to harder movements and
Mhm.
heavier, something
I
like
used
that.
to do that with bodybuilding, where it would be a whole time domain,
Yeah,
drop
No, it's
sets,
great. It's good stuff.
max
Yeah,
capacity,
yes,
and
there is place for it in
yeah,
CrossFit.
worked well.
Yes.
But man, the workout is interesting, and the a couple of people during the class were unconvinced that this was going to be hard, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Do you not see?" But
It's elegant.
what?
It's
Yeah.
elegant.
Why? How is this elegance tricked you again?
Yeah.
This.
But
Do
those
not
are
be.
the best workouts. That's what makes the
Yeah.
benchmark so good. It's like Grace, 30 clean jerks for time.
Yeah.
You're like, oh wow, I didn't know that was going to hit me in the face at 90-second mark like it did.
Yep.
It hits everybody like that. It's
Yeah.
cool. It's good. But it tests your ability to maintain positions through fatigue, especially on the 15s and the 9s. You know what I mean? Like, you really have to have mastered the movements, the 3 movements, in order to be successful in that workout.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just say, oh yeah, I got my first handstand push up. Now let me go do JT.
Right.
And you know what? You might get through your handstand push-ups, but that's not going to be the thing that humbles you. The thing that humbles you is going to be the measly push-ups.
The meat,
which the things that aren't that hard.
Right.
Funny how that's the hardest part of that workout for you.
Well, what's that about?
Right.
Just the brilliance of the
elegance
of the interference.
The simplest movements. I use movements like the push-up, the air squat, the ab mat sit-up in my workouts all the time, and I don't see the only other games athlete I see that do. I don't see many other people do movements like that. Now, maybe they do them. Maybe they do a lot of them. But, like, I'm going back through my books and I'm writing up all my old workouts on Patreon and I'm posting them. And I do a ton of just bodyweight movements. Barbara, Cindy, Helen, and just movements that high volume bodyweight movements, because I know that if my are better, my air squats are better, my sit-ups are better, and I have better capacity in those areas, that when something like JT comes up, I'll be able to handle it. And a lot of people don't consider that. They don't consider. They're always trying to get their first handstand push-up, or get their first muscle up, or get their first bar muscle, whatever it might be. But if they just focused on the basics of improving, or maybe they want to snatch heavier, get a better air squat. If your air squat is better, if you're able to sit not at parallel or above parallel, but all the way in the bottom without your knees caving in and your back rounding, your lifts are going to be better. So it's like the little things that you can improve, the virtuosity in the smallest movements, or just virtuosity in general, because that's what it means. It's like attention to detail and the little things that they matter much more than trying to get your first muscle up. Although that is fun, although it's exciting, it's great to watch, but I think you'll long run wise, it'll be worth it paying attention to the push-ups and the sit-ups and the squats.
There's something you just said that is represented in the priests of CrossFit, and I want to flesh that out in another podcast at some point. But the games every year sort of crowns the priests of that year. Like, these are the people that you would look at, that you would emulate, that will tell you what this thing is about, right? Or at least they should be able to. And if they can't, that's kind of weird to me. I don't know how you got there. I'm really confused with that one. But they're going to model, and this is what I mean. They will be the model that you will be able to point at and say, do you see their virtuosity? Because that's what got them there to this stage at this point. Not only that, once they've gotten there, they have to go through a grueling thing to eventually get to the one that is the pinnacle, that is the fittest.
Right? And you'll notice the people that are the fittest, the people that have won the CrossFit Games, they're the best movers.
Move the best, always.
They have to, and it's out of necessity. It's not happenstance. It's not coincidence.
Yes.
We don't believe in coincidence in the coach's office.
No, we do not.
We do not.
At all.
It's because they moved well and they paid attention to the little details and they really focused on it, and that's what made them the best. Go look at professional baseball players. Both of those sports I use because they're high skill sports. What made them the best is that they paid attention to details. Why do you think a lot of baseball players are good CrossFitters? I think that this is that reason. It's because they pay attention to the little details and they matter.
That's good.
It's not just a meathead sport.
Yeah. Yeah, I just saw something yesterday that was it was a reel of Mookie Betts like dominating like 5 sports, like dunking a basketball, like mossing somebody with a football, this
Yeah.
whatever, and
I saw a real similar where it was like it was anybody else trying baseball,
yeah,
and then it was baseball players trying other sports, and they
yes.
were able to do the other
All right,
sports.
so it's floating around, and it
Yeah,
was
it
like,
is.
yeah, baseball
It's in
players
the ether.
are the athlete, like they're the pinnacle athlete, and I thought it was interesting.
It was interesting.
I didn't play baseball, but I know so many like um, I know so many really good baseball players that are just awesome athletes.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know, something to do with the hand-eye coordination or the attention to detail, something like that.
I'm not sure what it. Yeah,
But yeah,
what it is.
okay.
But I do want to talk about this though.
Yeah.
For the person that's not going to dominate JT, right? Like
yeah. Let's continue with the JT.
Where is the what for everyone that listens that comes to the gym that's not necessarily competing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk about this too, which is this quote from Boz today. He was like, "Quarterfinals is gonna be fun."
Yeah, you sent it to me, right?
And yeah, I sent it to you, and he's like, "It's gonna be fun."
Uh-huh.
And this group of people is about to realize that they're playing.
Yeah,
and then there's a level to this thing, and there's another group of people who are competing.
I liked hearing that.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I liked hearing that a lot.
But to the people just playing,
yeah,
in class,
right?
Because they're not just playing, and people could take offense to, I didn't dare to play today or whatever it is. We're not mitigating or
you're just an idiot if you do that. Let's be honest. I'm sorry.
So
sorry.
but
we know that you're not just playing.
Yes,
we take it very seriously. But the purpose of this event is funneling to the CrossFit Games, which everyone can partake in watching the CrossFit Games, viewing it, and going back to their gym and doing the workouts.
Right.
The purpose for it. It's not. Yeah.
But just for the gym goers, you know, like when you're thinking of some of the people at the gym that aren't gonna work out, what are you thinking? Like,
I only think I've programmed this workout one other time for the gym, maybe. Like I don't do it very often because it is such a hard workout.
Yeah.
One, to scale, right? It is a hard workout to scale. But two, it also doesn't give you it's classic CrossFit in the fact that it's like completely exhausts one part of you.
Okay.
You know? And it's not gonna leave you on your back like Fran does or like Helen might, right? But it'll tax you and test you in a completely different way. Like it's just a different domain, and the hero workouts generally do that.
Right.
But this JT one, I think if you look at it more like you're gonna do, it's a strength workout under fatigue, is probably the best way to look at that.
Okay.
It's like a constant. It's like you're up against the wall and you're just staying pressed against the wall. You can't go through the wall, right? Because then you're done and you blow up and you're gone. And you don't want to back off too much because then you're not reaching as far as you should be. You're not going to make the gains. The adaptation's not there. The clock will not be representative of your true level of fitness in that test.
Right.
So it's like you got to get right up to that wall on JT, find it, and then just stay there. You do the biggest manageable sets that you can handle for the longest period of time that your body will let you go, and you work on your positions and your movements, and you don't just go through the workout. Like you're thinking about this as you're going. It's definitely one of the workouts that you have to think a little bit. You don't just muscle your way through it. You do, even if you're really good at it, you should always still be thinking about something. This is something that I try to relay to athletes that I work with. It's like, look, you should be thinking about something every movement that you do.
Yeah.
And if I don't give you that thought or something to focus on, you should pick something to focus on for the day, because it'll put your attention somewhere specific so that you're not thinking about how hard it is or something like that. The only times you don't think about it really are when you compete.
Right.
Like when you compete and workouts here or there, like there's times where you can just go, right? Like maybe the end of a workout, the last few minutes of a workout, you can let it go, right? Off the leash a little bit, if you will. But you should be mostly thinking about something. So for JT, it's very specific. You should be thinking about your positions, think about creating rotation with the shoulders, keeping the elbow over the wrist, loading up in a handstand push-up in the tripod position, not flaring the elbows out, getting a bad position, blocking out your reps, going through full range, staying elastic on your push-ups maybe, or staying controlled on your push-ups maybe, whatever it might be, whatever, thinking about the muscles that you're working. so that you get them to fire in the right sequence, something like that. Like there's a lot of things that you can think about when you're doing these workouts. So just ideas, but I like that it takes everybody to failure. It's like what old school classic CrossFit workouts do.
Yeah, that was one of the things that made me desire it. It developed a desire in me to continue and to want to come back. Like it was
Yeah,
this
okay, that's a
very
good thought.
real.
Like that one, that workout.
This one specific,
Yeah,
like very real. I will not let you beat me next time.
yeah, yeah, it's like the coach that encourages you by like pushing you a little bit, like pushing your buttons on purpose, just to bring that competitor out of you. The workout naturally does that. That's a really good point.
Oh yeah,
that's a really good point.
Yeah, and some of my favorites over the last 10, 11 years that
Yeah.
I've done this have all been that way.
Like you're laying on the floor afterwards, and you're immediately like, I want another shot at that. I want another crack at that.
One, yeah.
Yeah. I'll do this way, and I'll think about this, and I'm gonna go work on this. Competitions do that for me, like when I compete. But yeah, that's a good point.
Oh, nice.
That's a very good point. The workout of the day should do that for you at the gym.
Yeah, it can.
It should, and then it gives you, if your coach is programming right, like you should have opportunities to work on those things.
Yeah.
At each week, you should, if you come in, you should be working on those things that will carry over into that workout, like JT.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I have a tangent if we want to go there after
Get it.
JT. So have you seen any of the YouTube? It's a YouTube channel. There's a few YouTube channels in the space of CrossFit. There's not many. Ours is here, but I don't do any editing. I just put up the video and we talk.
Right.
People can clip them or something, but we haven't clipped any videos. I thought it's a good thought, but it doesn't work. There's Hiller, and then there's a few other people, and then there's this guy. This new channel is called like Mason Startup. Don't know if that's his name.
Okay.
I've seen a few of his videos pop up on my feed, and it only happens because the algorithm feeds it to me, right?
Yeah.
And this one recent, it was probably an old video because it has a good amount of views on it, but it's an old video and it's talking about what the games used to do and what they should do in the future.
Dude, this dude's gonna be so happy.
No, they were cool. They were good videos.
He's only got 965 subscribers,
but he's made a couple interesting
9
videos. Yeah.
And they're all like
there's one with the thumbnail.
Viral in a sense of
There's a games thumbnail from the thruster rope climb workout. Yeah. What's that called?
Yep. CrossFit needs more of this.
Okay, CrossFit needs more of this.
So this has not popped up on my algorithm on YouTube yet, but it did present it. It popped up somehow on my Instagram.
Oh, okay.
So
they're linked.
It's there.
They'll be there eventually.
Yeah.
But anyways, this one was good. It was talking about a similar idea to the workout JT. What the games workouts used to do, or what they do is they take the athletes to the point of failure.
Yeah.
But they tested them in a way like a legless rope climb. You had to do a legless rope climb unbroken, right? So there's a set amount of work that you had to do.
Yes.
And that is the thing that tested people. Like there's the one workout where it was rowing, kettlebell push press, and handstand walk.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to do the segments in unbroken. That was the games that I think I got invited to that games.
Yes.
And I'm thinking about these, but I'm thinking about these workouts that had chunks in them that you had to do unbroken. The muscle up biathlon was another one.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I'm like, every workout that they've ever programmed that is this way, which hasn't been many. I think he said it was like 16 out of all of the games events.
Yeah.
I've finished in the top like 5 in every one of them.
Dominated them.
And I was wondering, that's weird to me, but that's also the part of CrossFit that I love the most personally.
Yeah.
I love that, like knowing yourself and pushing yourself to the limit, but not failing, succeeding at the end. Like kind of like why I was a better gamer than I was a practicer.
Okay.
I really enjoyed practicing for the sole purpose of when you get in the game, you can be successful. So I enjoyed working on those little things and piecing them together so that you could kind of make the puzzle what it needed to be so that when you performed, it was there. But those tests were like JT-ish, where you push to that point of complete failure and it's the person that can hang on. There's a little gamesmanship, like you're looking down and you're like, who's going to jump up first? But when you jump up, you got to be able to hang on.
You better go. Yeah, you better be able to do it.
You got to be ready for the test. So, I just thought that was a really good video. It was true, and I would love to see more games workouts like that, like more games workouts where they're like knockout rounds, maybe like the Rogue Invitational had. Tests like that, unbroken tests. They're just fun. They're different challenges. But it did give. He said it gave viewers, something to pay attention to, is easier for people to grab onto, rather than your echo bike thruster workouts. It's like nobody wants to watch echo bike and thrusters for the finale of the CrossFit Games. No, I don't know. That's just me.
Well,
maybe people do. I didn't.
I mean, I don't. No.
Here we are arguing about CrossFit Games.
Yeah.
But video was good. Yeah. Taking games athletes to the point of failure, so that you find the athletes that know themselves best are the ones that are successful.
Everybody always had some crap to say about the last event ending with the overhead walking lunge, and it's what you're describing. Mm-hmm. So I dare you to put this barbell over your head, try and lunge this whole stretch.
Yeah,
I dare you. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. Right? Like that's the point. That's the point of that, right? Or am I wrong?
No, it's the point of it is to be, to push athletes to their limit because they know they're chasing someone. They're chasing the person next to them. It is the perfect way to end it, because you know what? You can lunge faster.
You can lunge faster.
And it hurts more. But you have to have the control and virtuosity of the movement to be able to lunge faster.
Yeah. And the body awareness of, bro, I'm not doing this 2 sets.
Yeah.
Catch them on the second set.
Yeah.
Catch them when they fail that last step. And they have to calculate now, how fast can I pick this up? And you tortoise your way past them in the best way possible, best finish possible, best viewership possible, all of the above. The best comes out of that, whatever it is. It just arises out of that.
Yeah, and on a handstand walk, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they had to be unbroken.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I mean, there's a reason for that at regionals, and
yeah, they like to do it for sure. These are things you can think about. You can think about these things in the gym, but like you can give yourself little goals like that in workouts.
I was thinking the other day that the like giving something away, or like not homework. I hate the thought of homework. I don't know, but I typically, like, whenever I'm like, I'll try and implement something. Like I'll see something. We've talked about this a lot. Like I'm like, but
yeah,
you'll understand what I'm kind of getting at. I got to hang with your little brother a week ago or something. I don't remember. It was within the last week or whatever. And he was like, "Yo, have you ever played with like not eating gluten?" And I was like, "No, but I will. Like, should I?" And he was like, "Dude, my aches and pains have all gone away, and I stopped eating gluten." And so Dane says he feels like $1,000,000 now, like ready to just get after it. And he's tweaked this one little tiny thing in his diet.
Small change, right?
Very small change in his diet. It's changed his whole like feeling. Like his body is legitimately in a place where he's like ready to go and attack workouts and get after it, instead of wandering in thinking, am I going to hold up?
He had a lot of stomach issues.
That's how he described himself for, being as good as he is at this thing, and wandering in thinking, will I break down?
Yeah.
Right. Nobody wants that.
No.
And
the smallest difference was just how he ate.
Gluten.
What I want to do. I want to be able to share, so that people, when the CrossFit wave does come back around, they have information. This is thought to apply into the gym.
This thought for me, it stems from a place. And I sent you my notes that I've been taking, just like random thoughts throughout the week, from like things that I'll see or listen to or whatever it is. And I heard an interview of Johnny Manziel. Do you know who Johnny Manziel is?
Yeah.
He said, I haunt myself now because of what I did when I entered the NFL. And the reason he haunts himself now is he says he got to Cleveland and he was the new quarterback and the hope of Cleveland. And there were guys at Cleveland who had been there for years and years and years and have been busting their butts. Hall of Fame guys that hadn't seen a win in years, right? And he said that they gave me more than I gave them in return, and it haunts me to this day. And that's a little bit of like this thought of like I want to give, like I would love to find myself in a place where I didn't give more than I took, or I want to give more than I take.
CrossFit can be incredibly selfish.
Right.
It was what I wrestled with for a long time. Like the day to day, competing as a games athlete.
Yeah.
It's like it's really selfish. You have to be if you want to be successful. Like as any athlete, ask any athlete, very selfish endeavor.
LeBron just said this.
But I also didn't like that feeling at all. Right. So I wanted to try to do whatever I could outside of it to help share what I knew to be helpful with everyone else. So it's like the gym was the perfect complement to it.
It's almost the antidote to the like real professional games athlete that wants like, and maybe it's just not. I don't know. It would be really hard right now, like economically, if people like start your own gym so that you can.
I'm not saying compliment like it was what I wanted to do. Like this came from a desire. This was born from a desire for me to share what I knew to be good and true.
Right.
In a way that wasn't selfish.
Yeah. Right.
Like I said, this wasn't like I did this to balance out my selfishness. Like it was like I really want everybody in the world to do CrossFit.
Yeah.
Because I know if the world did CrossFit,
yes,
the world would be a better place.
Yes, 100%.
When I say better, whatever, you can argue with me about what better means, but it would be better.
Right.
In every metric that you could possibly think of.
Yes.
So maybe you'd have some selfish people, but that's a side effect.
For sure. It just
that's a side effect of taking care of your body physically, is that you have to do that. It's one of those requirements for living, for being alive. If you don't take care of yourself physically,
you're going to improperly judge things, and properly judging this thing based on the body it creates is an improper judgment. But it will create a specific body.
Yeah.
That happens to be dope. What was the thing? Well, actually, that was a different tangent. I don't think I want to do that.
What else we got on this vein, on this subject?
Well,
you want to carry it over to the leadership principle idea?
Yes. Okay. This old lady has been haunting me with parental advice recently, and she's yelling at me.
Where is this?
It's on Instagram.
Oh,
I found her, and they're just little.
Oh, this is like a page on Instagram.
Page on Instagram of this old lady, and she's talking to parents, and she's saying, you're either leading your children or not. It's not one of the. So, do you want to lead them? Because if you want to lead them, and then she starts breaking down, the best way to be a leader. Everything this lady says is gold, like just straight up gold. And I've been implementing it, and it's been so great, and it's been so true. And my kids are already like in a league of their own, in my opinion. And but it's just like something they're getting more refined and more refined and more refined. And I saw Savan posted a clip yesterday, essentially saying the same thing. I was at a restaurant, and the people at this restaurant observed my children and came over and asked me, what have you done that has made them able to do what they're doing right now? Listen, not, no ADHD, no ADD, no, and essentially you hear him describe leadership. And so my question to you is leadership principles. Do you where do they fall in the I don't know, the hierarchy of how you're aiming. So clearly I'm thinking about this for the first time, like, or I'm verbalizing it for the first time. But how do you lead?
By example.
Okay. So should you yell at your children?
Maybe.
Potentially. The more and more I start playing these things out where I'm like, should you, and then you do this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
You start realizing that the things you do, like you're just creating an example, and your children are going to sort of kind of fall in lockstep with it, right?
100%.
So like at the end of the day now, for the last like 6 months, there's been this thing where I used to think that I needed to raise my voice to them for them to hear me and do. I've been talking to them like a very soft, sweet, we're not going to do that, you know, and they respond with terror. And within like 30 seconds of my responding calmly, leading them, they get to the place that I want them to go. I've tried I've tried the other one. Doesn't work. Didn't work at all. You know, like,
and failure is a good teacher.
It is a so, but I think about the class. It's like, okay, you come into your coach. Like, do you want to lead this group of people that are in front of you? Like, do you want to lead your gym? Do you want to lead your family? Do you want to lead yourself? Do you want to lead, you know, like, are you in charge? Are you leading? Are you, and then you start walking yourself into all the different arenas that you could be a leader in. It's like, which ones do you choose to be a leader in? Are you always a leader, or do you decide to be a leader? Are you in a place of leadership at some points in the day and not at other points of the day? Almost, I don't know, regularly I find myself in a place of, well, I don't want to be a bad example, so I should at least be a like default good example, which means either listening to the leadership that's ahead of me or becoming the leadership for those that need the leadership. So it's a twofold thing. Being a good leader is being able to take, right, to being able to also be able to give away. Something is afoot in the leadership sort of complex today. Like, we're like, and this is what I mean. We have a brand of person on the internet called an influencer, not a leader. Do you want to be a leader on Instagram, or do you want to be an influencer on Instagram? It's like, well, what are you influencing? And what's the purpose of the influence? And why does it get to where it's going? And it's like, well, now we're parsing out words.
Twisted. It's like influencer is like a twisted version of a leader.
It's an inverted version of a leader.
Yeah. Right.
Something weird is there. And the reason I bring it up is in relation to the coach's office, is the Instagram leader of CrossFit and in the CrossFit space, guy or girl, is going to be way different than the influencer. And the influencer might be, might say, garners more attention,
eyeballs, sure,
and therefore more money, maybe something like that. But how do you steer yourself away from?
If money is the goal, if money is your priority, then you should, and you should try to draw eyes.
Yeah.
Right? I warn against that because I don't think that that's the most valuable thing. Like, I think if you imagine yourself, give yourself all the money in your head, you can do that. It's crazy. As human beings, we can imagine what the future would be.
Yeah.
Give yourself that. You'll still be unhappy if you think about it. If you think it through. Not that money's a bad thing. It should be used as a tool, right? But it's better to be a leader. It's better to be, and you start by leading yourself.
I've been so Yeah. Do you yell at yourself a lot, like subconsciously, internally?
Yell? No.
How do you talk to yourself, like in your head?
That's what I mean by leading yourself.
Yeah.
And that's something that I'm working on all the time. All the time. As CrossFit brings it out too, which is one of the reasons I like CrossFit.
Yeah.
It draws that inner voice out of you, and you want to coach yourself like you would coach someone else.
Yeah.
Not like you would coach yourself. You know what I mean? Like I beat myself
Yeah.
up. I beat myself up a lot.
Totally.
And I'm afraid to try things. I'm afraid to do podcasts like this. I'm afraid to talk in public. I might be afraid of competing, right? Testing yourself.
Yeah.
But it's like I do these things because I'm afraid of them, and I know that they make me better,
Right.
and I have to learn from them, or there's no other choice. Like you learn from them.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's one of those things. Like if you want to lead other people, you got to lead yourself well first.
Right. Where are you leading yourself, and where are you leading others? I've been thinking a lot about it. I don't have like any profound anything right now, other than this lady has been.
I mean, you don't think about. I mean, you have children. When you have children, you think about it
all the time.
Children just force you to grow up. Children force you to grow up, but they force you to learn. They force you to learn all these things.
Dude, it's
like, you're
weird.
not going to consider them until you have children.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not. I'm just in the beginning phases of that. I'm not pretending to know anything or know all of this. Like,
yeah.
I got a 4-year-old and a 7-month-old. You know, it's like
right.
I am just learning.
Yeah.
We're still not.
Dude, our kids are going to be the same age apart. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's cool.
How old was Claire when Noah got pregnant?
Well, she's 4 now, about to be 5. So, what? 3.5.
Oh, yeah, like 3.5. All right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Perfect. It's like spot on.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But I'm excited about.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, I'm just excited about the sort of this used to be at sort of like the forefront of my attention, like being a leader.
Well, you are a leader, and that's what you do at Young Life. Like,
right.
That's your job.
Is
to lead
correct
kids, and you lead them in a way of by example. Correct. You're supposed to lead them by example.
Yes.
And you're supposed to walk with them. You walk with them on a day-to-day, so that when you talk to them, they listen.
Yes.
And you care about them because you genuinely do care about them.
Yes.
Because what you've realized in your life is that when you pour out yourself into someone else, that's the purpose of life.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's not the purpose of life is not to fill your cup.
Correct.
It's not to experience all of the things you want to experience. It's to pour out your life for someone else, to someone else.
Yes.
That's what I do when I get to that place of like not knowing what to do or like get a little down or something like that. It's like go do something for someone else. You know, share 100%. Something with someone that cares, that wants to receive that thing. Like you'll find value in that thing.
Yeah. It's like I always say to everybody, I'm like, go to 7-Eleven, go buy a treat that you want, and then treat the person that checks you out as if they're the most distinguished guest at the best banquet you've ever been to. Thank you so much, Shelly. I couldn't have got this thing that I really want without you. I'm so glad you're working today. I'm so glad you're here. You can call them by name. They wear name tags, all of the above. And you're going to realize, wait a second, what just happened to me? Because I don't know what magic spell just happened, but I just went from down in the dumps to mountaintops.
Yeah. And that's one of the things, the magic of CrossFit is one of those things that the CrossFit affiliate model created and afforded those opportunities and gym owners.
Yes.
On the daily. And that's what you get when you come into a gym. Like you're as an owner of a gym or a coach, you get that opportunity daily. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
This is going to be the theme. Like I'm going to constantly keep bringing this up because it keeps presenting itself.
They're great thoughts. Yeah.
And they keep, it keeps blessing me. The more I'm trying to be a good leader, like throughout the day, right? In my temperament and how I respond to someone and how I ask someone to do something, whatever it is, all across the board, everything has just been more rich, more full. Everything's tastes better. My conversations are seasoned with salt instead of nothing. It's growing, it's building on each other, and it's actually like it's becoming something.
Yeah, let me say that right. That exactly. That pattern that you're describing would be like a CrossFit gym, coming into the CrossFit gym and focusing on the process, not focusing on the weight on the scale or the weight on the bar or the end goal. You're focusing on the process, and in that process are all those little things you're talking about, the little moments that you experience. And the decisions you get to make in those moments. And then you realize when you just focus on those things that the end result comes naturally. And that's the cool idea about what Glassman said is that's the same pattern. What Glassman said, write down 10 things that you want to get out of CrossFit. Don't tell me about them. I'll just take you through CrossFit for 6 months and you'll knock off all those. I bet you'll knock off all those things on the list without me even looking at them. These principles, 1, 2, 3, are all the same stacked on top of each other. They're just different levels, different ideas, but same principles. Which is cool. Which is what we try to describe and point out in podcasts like this.
100%. Like Braden, like one of the things is I'm like, I just have, and I'm really enjoying lifting again. Like just want to get really strong again. You know, like in combination with being as fit, metabolically fit as it can be. But like Braden hit a double power clean.
330, and then 330. He hit a double power snatch at 250 just yesterday.
Yeah, so, and I watched it happen, and I think I stopped lifting at 285 or 295, something like that day, and I remember thinking, like for a second, being like, "Son of a bitch," like he got type of thing, and then I was like, "Wait a second, no, I'm excited about the process of getting back to power cleaning 330 for a double again, not." Upset that I don't power clean 330 right now. It was, and immediately I was like so ready to celebrate him in that double.
Yeah, and all that is what? Taking the different lens, putting the different lens on, putting the glass, you know what I mean? Like shifting your perspective just a little bit, because those two things are right there.
Yeah.
You can grab onto that one or you can grab that one. Like you got the choice. You're free. That's your free will.
To choose that one.
That's your free will.
Yeah. Dude, and I don't know. I think I was living in that place for a little while where I was like choosing this opposite of leading thing.
Yeah.
And it's a miserable place to choose to be.
Well, oftentimes it's just out of selfishness. Yeah. That's my experience, at least.
Dude, I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like, don't know why. Like, and one of the coming back to the lady in the parenting thing, she was like, "Hey, your kids don't want your affirmation; they want your play." Hey, great castle that you built. Build the castle with them. That's the thing that I'm doing right now. It's not stand up and say good job. It's go low and do with them. And that's what the gym is. Like it's get low and do. Like you either get low and do this thing and participate in it.
Yeah, participate in it. That's my encouragement to affiliate owners is participate in your classes. Do your classes. Do your programming. Don't separate competitive programming from your regular everyday athlete programming. Like everybody does the same thing. When you all participate in the same thing, it creates something special. If you segregate it and put it into different compartmentalize it.
Yeah.
Can't find the word.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. It's not as special. Doesn't mean as much.
Nope.
Community's not the same.
Nope. No, not at all. So, anyways.
Yeah, I want to keep talking. We said 45 minutes. It's 75 minutes now.
Let's be done.
So, yeah. Cool. Podcast. If you guys have any questions for next week, leave us a comment. You got anything?
No, I'll tell you afterwards.
All right. Check out Patreon page. I'm posting every day. So it kind of keeps up with thoughts like this.
Yes.
We'll post thoughts like this.
Get on it.
So it's fun. It's good.
Get in the game.
I'll post the link down below.